Whew. What's going on, party people? This your man Griff, and yes, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning while when I'm doing this video. Just finished getting everything to ship out for tomorrow. I had two late signings, and then I had to print one set of documents and send out an email. I got a run closing tomorrow. And his commercial run loan tomorrow. I got to do. Won't be prepping those docs until sometime tomorrow or this morning, later this morning when I get them and everything. So I got to do that. I had to send them out an email and everything, and was answering some comment questions and stuff. And let me throw this out there. I'm gonna still type it, but somebody asked a good question about how to go about searching for orders, and unfortunately, I don't know of any place where you can just search for orders and say, give me that one, give me this one. Typically, what you have to do is be signed up in a notary database, signing order, Notary Go, a whole plethora of them. If you look at the video, your profile will separate you from them, and you'll see that video in a playlist called Notary Basics that I have. But if you search Griffin Notary on YouTube, Griffin Notary, your profile, just put your profile, and you'll see the video comes up. And inside that video, there's in the description, there's a bunch of links, and some of them might have gone away or be expired because some of the companies have changed, and I keep forgetting to go back in there and change it and update it. So my apologies on that. What else? And then I know maybe on the community tab, you have to scroll a couple of months down. I did put another list or a list of signing companies up there. So today was interesting. And again, thank you for hitting the like button, sharing, and also commenting. I like the questions. Feel free to ask your questions and all of that. And sometimes if I think that a comment might be trollish, I might answer it back a little snarky, but because sometimes people will just throw comments or statements in there, and I'm just trying to clarify. I just want to make sure, because sometimes people just want to answer and they don't, and I just needed some more clarification. So I'm like, okay, what do you mean by this? Or tell me what you think. So me asking those questions, it does help me to craft the proper response to you. So two things interesting happened to me today, and I wanted to talk about it earlier, but I had to get things together. And that Ron closing that came up was like last minute, just came up out of nowhere. About 8:30, 8:45, yesterday evening. All right, so y'all know I talk a lot about notary laws and understanding the notary laws and the importance of them. And because of what I'm getting ready to talk about now is why I'm so anti know your worth thing. And I really I might do it on Fritter Friday, give y'all some idea, give y'all an understanding of what I mean by that, and how I think it's sort of, to a degree, having that set of know your worth is a little bit of, it's real cultish, CULT-ish. That is cultish, and I'm gonna try to remember to talk about it on Fritter Friday. But the reason why I'm so anti know your worth is because part of anybody recognizing your worth, or you knowing your worth, is that you got to do the work and you got to do it correctly. And there are a lot of notaries out here who are not doing things correctly. So to me, that diminishes your worth. How can you say you're worth something just because you went and spent money on a bunch of training and this, that, and the other, but when it comes time to actually do the job, you can't really do it? So today I had another one of those situations where it was a person having to sign in two different names, and they didn't have ID in both of them. So we'll use Jane Smith, and then she was formerly known as Jane Williams. So they wanted her to sign Jane Smith, FKA Jane Williams. According to at least Virginia law, I need to see ID in all the names that is valid that I'm notarizing the signature for. So if she's signing Jane Smith and signing Jane Williamson or Williams, I need to see ID if they want me to have in the notarial statement that name. And that's what they had. And I tried to get ahead of this, talk to her, because I realized that when the order came through, it had her maiden name and it had two different names. I asked her, she said that was my maiden name. And when I saw that from experience, I was like, okay, that means they're going to want her to sign a deed of gift or something that's saying that her name has changed. But I still need the IDs. And basically what ended up happening was the title company, I had to contact the signing. She actually contacted the title company. The title company contacted the signing company. Was like, why is the notary doing this and saying that she needs to have ID in her older name? Why is the notary saying she need to have credible witnesses and all of that? And new notaries, keep in mind that a lot of times some of the title companies don't know state law, as well as sometimes signing companies don't know state law. And for notaries, I mean, and there's a high chance that the lenders don't know at all notary law, okay? Probably very, very, not even 1% of them would know your basic notary law, your basic notary laws at all. So I sent them the information from the state of Virginia showing that I have to have such and such for ID, this, that, and the other, and all the legalities. So the signing company contacted me. We discussed it. They understood what I was saying. Now, one of the things that I said, look, I know other notaries have probably just signed this and didn't think too much of it, but I can't do that. So they contacted the title. Title was like, other notaries do it. What's the problem? And they even accused me of doing it. They was like, well, he's done it too. He's done it before. And I was like, no, I didn't. And the signing company owner was like, no, he didn't. I'm pretty sure he didn't. So we got everything straight. They said all she needs to do is sign in Jane Jones. Don't worry about the FKA part. And then use an all-purpose acknowledgement to denote Jane Jones on there and not Jane Jones, FKA Jane Williams. I was like, all right, cool. All of a sudden, I get an email from the signing company saying, in lieu of this situation, with me talking about the ID thing, they went back. What I'm saying, this title company went back and pulled up other documents, went through other documents that had that same thing, so-and-so, FKA, so-and-so, and said, where's the two IDs for this? And it was like they was trying to say I was lying and that I'm just making up stuff. So I looked through my logbook and all the other stuff, and I pulled it up, and then I pulled up the address, and I'm like, oh, I remember. It was credible witnesses. And I even called the lady just to make sure, and all of that. And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, I got it noted here, the credible witness. I was like, I just wanted to make sure. She was like, yep. Yeah. And I even explained, I said, so-and-so was here and so-and-so. She like, yep, they was here. I said, bet. All right. And the point of what I'm trying to make is that it's very important for us to do things right in accordance with our state law. Because when you don't, it can make it hard for other notaries who are trying to do things for, in accordance with their state law. And it can open up a can of worms, because now that they see clearly that at least I'm doing things correctly in accordance with state law, it calls into question all the other documents that have been signed with so and so, FKA so and so. Did the notary actually follow state law to verify both names, or did the notary just sign off on this and stamp it? If somebody want to push, they could, and a bunch of people would probably be in trouble, as well as um, the title company, and you don't want that. So that can happen, and this is why I strongly encourage y'all, before you start getting into all this, what I'm worth, and you're going to pay me, and I need to be treated better than this, and you need to value me and all. Make sure you know how to do your job as a notary. And I do know that a lot of people who feel that way do know how to do their job as a notary, but a lot of new notaries don't. And the issue is that too many people focus more on trying to force somebody to pay them something that they're not able to pay them, based off of some lie that another person said, oh, well, they can pay you, because if you look at the settlement statement. And how do you know they can pay you? So I don't know when it's going to happen, but at some point in time, people are going to finally realize that the most important thing is to know your state laws and to be able to execute them properly, which will open the door for you to be compensated correctly, however you feel is correctly, without all of this screaming and yelling and fussing about it. I don't think we need, that's just not the way to do things. The second thing that happened that was interesting, I get an email from a notary out in California, and they asked a simple question, well, two questions. The two simple questions was, how do I know what documents to notarize in a loan packet? And I'm like, Then other question was, how do I know whether to use a jurat or an acknowledgement? And I'm like, okay, I know California goes through training, this, that, and the other. So long story short, the individual did take some training, and they actually took training, and paid. Of course, they paid for it to actually look at, or to see a mock signing. The mock signing did not do any notarizations at all. This is what she shared with me, that the mock signing did not do any notarizations at all. I'm like, then how do you know what to do? Because I actually said, well, what did you see when you did the mock signing? They should have showed you how to do a notarization or what it looks like. She said they didn't show that. They just explained the documents. They just covered how to point the stuff on the documents and tag stuff on the documents, and prepping the documents and all of that, but not necessarily how to do the notarization, or even showing what the notarization looks like on the document. So I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, okay, I understand why you're so confused. So I explained to her what was going on, and I know people think sometimes I'm just making up stuff and I'm just being the mean old man talking about get off my grass. But I'm sharing with y'all, and I'm telling y'all the truth. There are people out here who are not properly being taught and educated on how to do this business. And that affects us, because when they go out here making mistakes, these signing companies start adjusting their pay. And that's not good, because they start losing money because of the mistakes and them getting sued, their E&O insurance getting hit and all of that. And you're sitting here like, well, I want more money. But you're not doing a good job as a notary. You're not properly following your state guidelines on identifying people. you took training that didn't actually teach you how to notarize and show you what that looks like. They gave you a mock signing, but the mock signing was just only 15, 20 pages, and it was just a bunch of fluff, but it didn't take you through a whole loan closing like the videos that I put up there and that I do. If you look at my art of notarization playlist, you'll see that. The loan doc overview, I'm going through a whole loan document. So I felt really bad for the young lady, and me and her spent probably an hour or so talking, and I walked her through the whole thing of what she needed to know and understand, sent her the videos that she needed to look at. And then, you know, the last thing she told me was there was somebody who was talking about basically that thing of, here's the 7 critical documents, knock these out first, put tags where they, you know, put little flags on the thing so you can put them back where they belong. And I'm like, well, if you got to pull them out, get them signed and put them back, wouldn't that tell you that the title company is okay with them being signed in the order that they sent them? If they wanted these 7 documents signed, they would have put them up front, and you got to put them back in the place where they're at, or you will get in trouble. I'm like, that's a lot of work. And what happens if you get the documents at the last minute? You're brand new, you've never done this before, your first, the second, or third closing, and you're sitting here like, I just got to get this done. And now you're stressing because you're trying to pull documents out and remember where to put them back so you don't get in trouble. And I'm like, that's just too much. That is just way too much for anybody to be dealing with. Why don't we just get the documents signed, notarize them properly, and call it a day? So if you're a new notary, just be mindful of who you're listening to out here. There are some people who are trying to do good and trying to teach you correctly, but then there are a lot of people who are just giving you a bunch of fluff because they don't want to do loan closings anymore. They're not that good at loan closings for whatever, you know, reason. And they figure, I'll just train people and get money that way. And then they're teaching you wrong. They're not showing you the things correctly. They're telling you to do things that don't make sense, that's not even asked of you by the signing company or the title company. You're doing this based off of some trainer. The trainer told you to do it, but did the people who are paying you tell you to do it? And you're like, well, no, but my trainer who I paid told me, so I'm gonna do it. What they told me because I paid for it. And that's why you have to be careful about what you're paying for. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. Y'all could tell I'm tired, but I just wanted to get this out because it was on my mind, and I know I might not have time to do it tomorrow. But it's highly, highly important for you to make sure that you understand your notary laws and you follow them. Even though there's other notaries who don't. Follow your notary laws. And be careful of what training you pay for. She told me the name of the training company. I haven't even looked them up. But just the name itself didn't sound right to me. So I'm glad I was able to help her. And that's what it's all about. So y'all have a good one. I'm going to get me some sleep. I got to get up early in the morning for my medical examination for my life insurance. Got to redo that or do that so I can make sure I'm qualified for some additional insurance I know I qualify to get insurance, more insurance, but to make sure I get it at a good rate and all of that stuff. So I ain't been eating my sweets like I normally do, so hopefully blood sugar be better. I think it's already good, but you know how it is. Well, y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all later. Peace.